Hello everyone, here psst.one. Today another interview from Mira Festival with VJ Entter. He was a visual performer back in the days alongside the different kind of artists, but with the same style, the 8-bit style. Now he's working in a series of conferences and installations about the dystopia that is around us. But you will see all this stuff, so enjoy! How did you start with visual, or in general with the video works?
Yeah, well, I studied fine arts at the Basque Country University in Bilbao, and so I get in contact with video art there. Some years later, I started to do visuals for live shows. That was about 2005. I started with a friend, with Raquel Meyers. We started to do a lot of shows with chiptune artists like Game Boy and Commodore 64 musicians. I guess my style was very related with all that role of 8-bit and pixel art and all that.
Yeah, you continue with this style during the years, no?
Yes, I've been working with pixel art and video games for a long time, more than 10 years by now.
What fascinates you in this 8-bit stuff? What was interesting for you in this kind of aesthetic?
Well, I can tell you also how I get in contact with the chiptune world. I was in this mailing list from rhizome.org, and one day they sent a newsletter about a UK chiptune artist who did this song Master and Slave with the Game Boy, and I fell in love with the sound, with the energy, with the attitude of chiptune, kind of do-it-yourself, very punk, and I always loved video games since I was a child. I used to go to play video games in the arcade galleries after school, before going to school, after school. I never had the computer when I was a child, so my contact with video games in the beginning was every time was in the bars with the small coins, like with 25 pesetas, like 25 pesetas. Before we had the euro, we had these little coins, and it was nice. I loved Tetris and a lot of games from that era.
In your style, in your 8-bit world, in your visual, you use, in my opinion, more meme of internet, or what the web in general give in a funny way, and you convert it in the 8-bit and use it for your performance or for any kind of job that you do. Why you are interested in this web world, and why you use this kind of meme?
As the video games are part of our pop culture, and I always was interested in humor. I like humor. I mean, I actually do a lot of abstract and glitch stuff, but I always want to have not only this, but also little bits of humor and figurative language. Yeah, It's very important for me try to make a connection in some way with the public. It can be a joke about the Pope, or it can be another crazy thing, I don't know. I don't like to throw just random abstract visuals for 1 hour and then go out. I need a bit of visual language that you can recognize, and I also like to make people think a little bit also. I think I tend to do that.
You are here in Mira to do a conference. What is about your conference?
So my conference, my talk, again, wants to establish a conversation with the public, an open conversation about today's post-internet technological world and what I call a state-of-the-art dystopia. We tend to consider dystopia as something of the future or some kind of strange fiction, but the idea of this talk is allow to people to see how dystopia is actually around us in our everyday lives. So I would say that is the main theme of the conference.
In which stuff you recognize dystopia is already here? Because for a lot of people, dystopia is, as you told, is something from will be, or is not present here. For you, yes. In which part of our daily life is already here?
In many ways, today we are, everybody feels free, which is the problem, because we are not even conscious about the domination of today's world. We happily play our own self-surveillance. But you can see the world that is surrounding us, like it's, dehumanization, environmental disaster, mass surveillance, a lot of tricky business by the governments and also with governments are usually run pretty much by the capitalist economic world. So in the end, politicians, as everybody we know, they are pretty much puppets of the capital. So I think that's totally dystopian.
Yes. What are you working now? You stop to do visual, or you continue to do visual?
I'm not very active lately doing electronic music shows with musicians. I do sometimes, but lately I've been very concentrated on this project, State of the Art Dystopia. Actually, the project started as an idea for a video installation, which I think I'm going to do later in this year. I think probably in November I'm going to exhibit the video installation. So yeah, now my artistic activities are very focused in this dystopian thing.
What you bring this decision in your life?
To be honest, I don't even know. I mean, I was starting to do these little compositions, these little visual poetry, visual poems, so to speak, with emojis and text, and it came to me very naturally. I mean, I didn't have like the time to think, okay, I'm gonna pick emojis and do that, and this, then I will do a talk. And no, it just happened